welcome to Good Games Spawn Point, the show for younger gamers by gamers. I'm Hex.
And I am Bajo.
And I am D.A.R.R.E.N.
Guys, you know I love my job, but some weeks do feel harder than others.
How so, Hex?
Well, the games we're reviewing this week aren't really that good, are they?
No, they're not really. But it's important we review every bad game so we can make sure that it stays out of the hands of Spawnlings, because if even one bad game got into the hands of one of our viewers, it would be a tragedy.
Well, this week we're looking at the latest party game for the Wii Play Motion.
Oh, cheer up, you two, because I'll be conducting my masterclass on Terraria.
That'll be awesome, but what's even better is we'll meet another spawn of Australian gaming. But first, let's review Reload. Now, we remember what it was like to be kids and how frustrating it is to be told that you're too young to do something. Especially some of you spawners who must hear about these AAA shooters like Call of Duty and Battlefield, only to be told that they contain things that are definitely not suitable for kids.
And that's why we got very excited when Reload came in. Here it is, a game, a shooter, rated G that everyone can play.
Yay!
Unfortunately, it's the worst game I have ever played. And I've played a lot of bad games.
Welcome to the rifle range. Round 1.
Reload features a variety of shooting ranges where you'll be taking down targets for points. The better you do, the more points you get, and if you hit a number of targets in a row, then your score will get a multiplier. You can use a standard Wiimote, which is actually the most accurate peripheral, but it's meant to be played with something like a Wii Zapper, and we've been using this gun which came with the game.
Yes, it took us quite a while to assemble, and that part was actually quite fun, but it doesn't work, and I couldn't work out why at first, and it turns out the bit of plastic at the end here is stopping it from working.
The Wii Remote uses an infrared technology for pointing at a target, so when you angle the Wii Remote in a certain way, the plastic in the gun's pretend muzzle blocks off the signal.
In fact, if you look on the box, it says it's not endorsed or sponsored by Nintendo, and they don't approve of the rifle twice.
Yeah, it's utterly baffling how they could release something so poorly designed. Luckily, you can rip the end off and then it works. Targets are so far away that all this game does is show how inaccurate the Wiimote can be for these types of games.
There is the odd stage that tries to mix up the gameplay, such as this one, which calls out a number for you to shoot first, but even with that, everything just feels drawn out and static and way too simple.
It feels more like a flash game you'd find on the internet. The only strategy here really is avoiding civilians, reloading during breaks, and trying to get a high score by not missing enemies.
There's no free play mode, you have to play through each level to unlock it, and there's not really much else to the game, really. You can play in multiplayer and share your scores online, but I really don't see myself doing that, Bajo. I'm giving it 2 out of 10 rubber chickens.
If you're after a gallery shooter game like this, you're much better off with something like Raving Rabbids. In fact, even Duck Hunt, which came out for the Nintendo 26 years ago, is more entertaining than this. So I'm giving it 0.5 rubber chickens out of 10. That's really just a chicken's leg.
It's not a whole chicken.
Not a whole chicken at
toe
all.
of a chicken.
Barely a parson's nose.
Hex here at the Spawn Point news desk with the latest stories from around the world. The person who holds the top job in education in the United Kingdom has praised video games as a great tool for learning. In a speech about the future of schools, the Secretary for Education, Michael Grove, said, "When children need to solve equations in order to get more ammo to shoot the aliens, it's amazing how quickly they can learn." Rumours about the next PlayStation, or PlayStation 4, have begun following a Taiwanese hardware manufacturer's report. The report said the PlayStation 4 will feature full-body motion controls similar to Microsoft's Kinect and could go on sale as early as next year. However, until an official announcement is made by Sony, we'd take those rumours with a pinch of salt. The latest weekly game sales figures are in. Worldwide, it seems G-rated games are tops, with every single title in the top 5 being games that can be played by anyone. Taking the number 1 spot is The Legend of Zelda: The Ocarina of Time for the 3DS. The other titles in the top 5 are Zumba Fitness, both Wii Sports titles, and good old Mario Kart.
Time now to meet another spawn of Australian gaming, and this week it's Marco from South Australia.
Hi, I'm Marco, and I love gaming. I started gaming about 10 years ago, and that's when I got my PlayStation 1. And from then to now, I've loved every minute of gaming, and I game every day. My first game I ever played was Crash Bandicoot Racing on PlayStation 1. I liked it because it had different range of characters and different range of vehicles, challenging tracks, and good AI. My Uncle Frank, he actually introduced me to gaming. He bought my first PlayStation 1. It actually came with a massive steering wheel that you sat on, but I was too short to reach the pedals, so he had to help me reach the pedals, and I steered the carts, and yeah, we loved it. My favourite games include Pokemon Ruby. I've had it for a while now. Still haven't beat the Elite Four, but yeah, keep trying. I like Tetris on the Wii. That's a very good game. Also NBA 2K11. I love the graphics. I'm a basketball fan. I've played basketball for a long time now, 3 years, so love it. The one game I'd play forever would have to be Tetris on the Wii. It's so addicting. The thought of just trying to beat your high scores, just keep trying, builds up confidence and persistence. And just keep trying until you beat it. And once you beat it, you just try and beat that again. Keeps going. Best gaming moment would have to be when I bought my PlayStation 3, so excited. Couldn't wait to get it home. I actually sprinted to the car with my dad's keys. After that, I quickly opened the door to the house, ran inside, unhooked it. I actually nearly dropped the PlayStation 3 at one stage. I was so excited. I couldn't understand how to put it all together, so I had to read the instruction manual a few times, and yeah, then I put it together and I just started gaming. Best thing about gaming is it teaches you to have fun, play with others, and hang out with friends. Just mucking around, having a good time, being a bit competitive. Yeah, just most of all having fun. When I'm not gaming, I go out and play a lot of football. Football's my number one sport. It's my main sport. If I can tear myself away from the console. Playing sport video games helps me a lot out on the field. It teaches me good sportsmanship with friends. It teaches me how to make space on and off the court. So try to get the ball as much as possible, try to shoot better, be a team player, pass it off. Some cool tricks I've learned off video games are the trick shots of most NBA players. Try to copy them a lot, try to do a lot of the fakes and passes. Oh, come on. That's skills right there. And I've kicked the winning goal in a football match before. That was probably my best moment ever. So keep trying to do those trick shots and I'll master them one day. So just keep playing the games to learn how to do them properly. I hope when I grow up, I want to be a professional football player and an AFL player. Would be great because football's my life apart from gaming, so trying to get out there as much as possible. I love football because it brings all your friends closer together, brings games closer together, have more fun, and get a bit physical sometimes, but that's all part of the game, and I love it.
If you'd like us to come and visit your den of gaming, then head over to our website and click on Meet the Gamer. All the details of how to apply are there.
All right, Hex, I think it's time we go open the inbox and tackle some of the Spawnlings' pesky problems.
Aha! I'll keep these armrests to myself. Ah! Ah! Nice and comfy.
All right, Spawnlings, it's that time where we dive into the inbox and answer some of those questions of yours. So who's up first, Hex?
We've got this one from Sonic in... Stop it. Sonic in Wii World, New South Wales. Oh, come on.
I'm helping. Hi, Good Game. You are awesome, so I was wondering if there are any good downloadable games for the Wii. I've asked you this a lot.
Well, Sonic, there's more than a few really good games for download on the Wii. Starting with the Virtual Console, you've got access to most of Nintendo's classics. There's the old Mario and Zelda games, Donkey Kong Country, Yoshi's Story, all of which are brilliant and still a lot of fun.
And in the WiiWare store, there's some pretty decent options too. We really like World of Goo, and there's also Cave Story, which is an awesome platformer.
Also, there's the Bit Trip series. Each game in the series is quite different, but they're tricky fun. And the Phoenix Wright games have some quality mysteries to solve. Well, those should keep you busy for a while, Sonic. Moving on now to I Don't Want to Be a Noob from South Australia. It's a valid concern. Hi, Good Game. My brother keeps calling me a noob, and I was wondering what games I could play that would make me a better gamer. Please, please, please answer.
That's an interesting question. Just like any skill, getting good at gaming comes down to one thing: Practice. The more you play, the better you'll get.
Yeah, well, that's decent advice, actually. What games would you recommend, though, Bajo?
Well, platformers like Mario are great at teaching you timing and precise movements. Fighting or racing games like Street Fighter and Wipeout help you build up your reflexes. Something like Zelda or Portal will improve your problem-solving skills, while games like Little Big Planet and Minecraft can test your creative thinking abilities.
Also, strategy games like Halo Wars and Age of Empires are great at teaching you about planning and resource management. And I'd definitely say you should have a go at some arcade-style games. Something like Geometry Wars is great at teaching you about pattern recognition, and given time will help develop even the noobiest of thumbs into accurate noob-blasting machines.
Indeed, but long story short, play games. Play as many as you can, as often as you can forever.
Well, gaming should be done in moderation so that it doesn't interfere with other parts of your life, right, Bajo?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to this one from I Love Minecraft in Golden Square, Victoria.
I mean, no, play them forever. What is the point of mods, hacks, and cheat codes? Please answer this, otherwise I will never watch your show again. Well, mods, hacks, and cheat codes are all quite different things. Mods are typically fan-made expansions or modifications to a game and can be quite awesome. For example, the old space strategy game Homeworld had a mod which changed every ship into a ship out of Star Wars.
And sometimes a mod can take one game and make it into a completely different game. Warcraft 3, for example, spawned a mod known as Defense of the Ancients, which has itself created a whole subset of strategy games.
Cheats, on the other hand, are usually built into the game by the developers. Sometimes they're there to make things a bit easier by letting you switch on unlimited health or unlock all levels, for example, and sometimes they're just there for a laugh, like the monster truck in Age of Empires 3.
That monster truck was pretty lethal though, wasn't it, Bajo?
Lethal and awesome, but that just leaves hacks, and there are two kinds of hack, the good kind and the bad kind. The good kind is an unofficial cheat. Certain devices like Action Replays or Game Sharks will let you hack games and use cheats that the developers never intended for you to use, just for a bit of fun.
And then there's the bad kind of hacking, which is only for massive noobs. These only apply to online games, but these hacks give players unfair advantages. It might make them invincible, super fast, or give them free gold, for example.
They can really ruin a good online game for the rest of us, and if you ever come across a hacker online, you'll realise what a bunch of noobs they are.
Well, there's still time for a few more, so let's go to this one from mystery person who can't say their name is Tyson in New South Wales. Okay, first, good game, you rock. Okay, see, I've bought this game on my PS3, but it's an online multiplayer only game. I've connected it to the internet, but it says I need to redeem a code. What code is it? Please answer.
Well, Mystery Tyson, a lot of games these days have online activation codes which only come with brand new copies of the game. If your game is brand new, then there should be a big long number either in your manual or on a piece of paper inside the case. Simply enter the code whenever the game asks for it and it should unlock.
But if you've bought the game secondhand, then chances are the code that came with the game was used by the person who originally bought it. In that case, you're going to have to cough up some extra pocket money to buy a code, and you should be able to fairly easily find an option to buy one somewhere in the game. All right, well, next we've got this one from Max in Brisbane, Queensland.
Good game, SP. I've tried to give you this 32 times, so please answer. I recently got LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy for the PS2, but when I select new game, it freezes on the two characters. Do you know how to fix it?
Well, Max, it could be a number of things, but if your game keeps crashing in the same spot, then our bet is you've either got a bugged copy of the game, or, more likely, a dirty or scratched disc. Simply have a look at the back of your disc, and if you see lots of finger marks and scratches, well, there's your problem.
Yes, the dreaded scratched and dirty disc. You can repair them if the scratch isn't too big, and sometimes it just takes a quick clean to fix it. Simply find a tissue and put a bit of warm, not hot, water on the back of the disc, and then wipe it like so, going slowly from the inside to the outside. Don't scrub it like this, or you just scratch it more.
There are also disc cleaning machines and services out there too that can potentially fix up your scratches if cleaning didn't help.
But a really bad scratch can just destroy your disc completely, so the lesson here is always look after your discs. Don't leave them lying around on the ground or in a pile, and always put them back in their boxes when you're done playing with them, and try to avoid putting your fingers all over them or leaving bits of cheese on them.
Indeed, some good tips there, Bajo, to ensure your games stay good and in working condition for many years. But on that note, we're out of time for this week, but you all know what to do with those questions of yours. Send them in here. Oh.
Let's see. My noob eradication program is going swimmingly. Wait, what's this? A letter from a spawn that sounds suspiciously noobish. Dear Darren, I'm loving Terraria, but I'm having trouble getting started. Could you please give me some help? I've been getting a lot of emails about this great new indie game. Well, since you asked so nicely, I'll take you to school. Here are my 5 top tips for Terraria. Tip 1. Walls. You'll need blocks and doors to make your house, but this isn't enough. You also need backing walls. The game only considers a room to be official if you've covered the entire back area completely and added a light source too. Once you've met these conditions, monsters won't spawn, and you'll be able to add a bed to set your spawn point. Tip 2. Tree farming. You will need loads of wood to craft all your torches, platforms and tools, and the best way to get it is to set up a sustainable forest near your house. First, you'll need a patch of level ground. Plant your acorns into saplings at least 3 squares from the edge and each other. Keep the ground free of weeds. Finally, be sure to chop down trees completely, right down to the stumps. Trees only take 1 day to grow, so with your own mini forest, you'll never run out of wood. Tip 3. Grappling. The most useful tool you can get early on is the grappling hook. First, you'll need lots of iron ore, smelt it at a furnace into bars. Use the bars to make an anvil, and at the anvil, forge 3 chains. The final ingredient is a hook. This is a rare drop from skeletons. A grappling hook makes cave climbing a breeze, and you can shoot low-lying mobs from a safe distance. Once you find the underground jungle, you can harvest jungle roses and vines to upgrade your grapple into an ivy whip. This triple grapple is a must-have. Tip 4. NPCs. If you have extra rooms on your house, NPCs will move in once you meet certain conditions. For instance, the merchant will arrive once you get 50 silver pieces, and the dryad will appear once you've defeated your first boss. Make sure each of your guest rooms has a table and a chair, or the NPCs won't spawn. The NPCs can sell you some great gear, and they're pretty funny too. Tip 5. Hearts and stars. You start off with 5 hearts and 0 mana stars. You'll want to upgrade those straight away. You can add more hearts to your total by smashing crystal hearts you'll find underground. Use a hammer to break them, then consume the life crystals you'll find inside like they're potions. To build your mana reserves, you'll need to gather fallen stars. These land on the surface randomly at night. Once you get 10, you can craft a mana crystal, which you can then gobble to add a mana star. You can have a maximum of 20 hearts and 10 stars. And if you want to take on the big bosses like Skeletron, you'll need them. Well, that's it for Level Up with Darren this week, but this is just the beginning. If there's a game that you're having trouble with, don't wallow in your noobishness. You can email me at our website here.
The Nintendo Wii has sold bucket loads, and some of the more successful selling games have been party games. That's where you get a bunch of friends over for minigame fun-a-thons, such as 2007's Wii Play. Well, there's one thing that's sure in gaming: if a game is successful, it will have a sequel. So voila, we have Wii Play Motion. And Wii Play Motion comes bundled with the new controller, which has the Motion Plus built into it, so it's more sensitive.
We'll talk about that in a minute though. First, let's talk about the game. So what makes a good party game? Well, it needs to involve multiple players, it needs to be challenging, and above all, it needs to be fun. And there are quite a few decent games in this mix, but not all of them tick those boxes.
Indeed. There are 12 games to unlock, most with multiple stages, but not all of the stages are multiplayer, and the ones that are range from 2 players to 4 players. So if you have a number of friends over, quite often you're going to have people sitting out.
The multiplayer games vary between co-op challenges, like the strange gem-catching game, which saw 2 Mii characters holding hands and bouncing about a maze, or more frequently, versus modes, which were generally more fun, going head-to-head in whack-a-mole games, on-rail shooters, or races.
And while there are some decent games in this mix, it's rare that all of them tick those boxes. There were some standout games which get points for being a decent amount of fun, and at the opposite end of the spectrum, there were some that were just mind-bogglingly stupid. But let's start with the good ones. The whack-a-mole style game saw us versing each other trying to whack moles that would pop up from holes in the ground, while avoiding hitting me characters that would cause you to lose points if you hit them.
Yeah, the action is quite fast, and when you're in a frenzy like that, it can be tricky trying to stop yourself from hitting the wrong spot. Plus, some moles will wear me character masks to try and trick you into not hitting them, so you have to keep a sharp eye on what's going on.
Affirmative. It's inspired by a traditional carnival game that is fun for a few rounds and gets steadily more difficult in stages, so it was definitely one of the better ones in there. Nevertheless, it's nothing you'd really want to play for more than a few turns.
The other game I think we can all agree on that was good was The Shooter. There are some great animations at the beginning of us running around with our pistols as safari hunters, we flung discs as ninjas. At one point we were hunting dinosaurs in an on-rails jungle shooter. It makes good use of the Wii Motion Plus's more sensitive controls, and I thought it was fun going up against each other to get those more accurate shots.
Yeah, and I liked all those levels, you know, all the stages were different and interesting and fun to play, and I was quite happy to sit through all of them. But with some of the other games on offer, I struggled to even get through one, let alone multiple.
Yeah, now let's move on to the games that we hated. I think we can all agree that trying to balance multiple scoops of ice cream by holding the Wiimote vertically like an ice cream cone is no one's idea of fun. Not to mention this weird single-player mode where you had to swirl a long stream of soft-serve ice cream into a cone.
Yeah, that was weird. However, the most frustrating Wii party games are the ones that are a...
Waggle-fest.
Exactly. One of the last games we unlocked involved rapidly waving the Wiimote to fan a bunch of balloons through an obstacle course with a leaf. Nothing about this was fun, and it was actually painful to play. I don't think I've ever hated a party game as much as this one.
I think I waggled the hardest and won that round, and the next day I could barely use my arm to lift a controller. And the rest of the games just ranged from mediocre to bad. One that involved catching ghosts, another annoying spaceship docking game. I mean, after all the party games we've seen come and go, it seems they're still struggling to come up with anything that isn't total rubbish.
Affirmative. If you really want the Wii Motion Plus controller, go for one of the other games it comes bundled with, like Wii Sports Resort. It's far from perfect, but much better than this. I can't recommend this game at all.
Yeah, I agree. The games are frustrating, not that much fun to play, and most of them are just silly. With the exception of that dinosaur safari level, I'd be happy to just erase this entire game from my mind. I'm giving it 3 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Sadly, I agree with both of you. I'm giving it 2 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Mind erasing? I've got a laser for that. Would you like a go?
You know what I actually just want to be? I have to go do a...
I'll have a go, Darren. Okay, firstly, I want you to erase this game and also that really boring conversation we had in the lift about electrodes. What was that about? And I'd like you to erase Kung Fu Panda 2.
I could also erase all the times I've thrashed you at Brawl.
Yeah, that'd be good.
All right. Charging my mind ray. And we're done.
Oh, that was quite simple. Who are you? Who am I? Where am I?
Mission accomplished.
These are funny. These are funny.
Stop that.
These are funny.
Stop that.
Hey, you've got the same shirt as me.
Darren, did you use your mind ray on him?
Just a little.
Oh, he doesn't even remember who he is. Put him back the way he was. We have to finish the show.
All right. Charging my mind ray.
Naughty. Well, that brings us to the end of another episode of Good Game Spawn Point.
Oh yes, and a reminder to all of those out there making a Sonic birthday card, make sure you get your entry in before next weekend to stand a chance of winning the Sonic statue.
We shall return next week with more from the wonderful world of video games. Darren, I hear you've been playing a fitness game.
Affirmative. I thought our new reporter Goose could do with a bit of beefing up, so I've been putting him through his paces with a UFC trainer.
Come on, Darren, just one, then we can go home. Come on, lift, come on. We'll also check out the latest Ape Escape for the PlayStation Move.
Till next time, gamers, may all your games be good ones. Hex out.
Bajo out.
Darren out.
Oh, Darren, I think you've given me too much. I know the code for the Darren Cave.
Negative.
Oh, it's gone.
That was close.